Okay, so first of all, thank you very much to all the students who have joined me in this lecture, and thank you very much to all the students who have shared the link of this video in their group so that more and more students can come and join this video and enjoy these free coding classes I'm providing on my channel. Thank you very much for that. Let's now come on this Codeorg platform, and so this is what the name of the app which we are going to build today on this beautiful platform named Code.org. So the name of this app is Sign Language, and let me just show you the various screens that we will be using in this app. So this is going to be the first screen. Okay, now after that we have three more screens that we will be using. One is this screen 4, which will be for the admin panel, which will be for the admin person. Then there is screen 1, okay, where we have some input boxes placed over here like this, and we have some label boxes placed on the top of every input box. Okay, then we have this screen 3, okay, which is the user's panel. Let's now come on this screen 4, sorry, not screen 4, screen 2, okay, and make it the default screen first. So it is already a default screen. Why? Because that make default button is not visible to us over here in this workspace, right? So that means that it is a default screen, and when the user will run this app, this is the first screen he is going to come across, right? Okay, so what all components do we have on this screen? Let me tell you that first. Let's come on this designing panel, and so we have this one image button, okay, and then we have this second image button placed on this first image like this. Then there is one label box which I have placed on this boy over here, which is a part of this GIF animated screen getting reflected on this mobile simulator screen. Then there is one label box which I've placed on this teacher's image, okay, that moving teacher's image which is getting reflected on this image button. Okay, so these are the four components which we have on this screen 2, for this screen 2. Now let me just tell you how can you find this image on Google Images. So what you have to do, you need to come on Google first, okay, and here you can type something like student with teacher moving GIF animated. So I think it is going to give you, it is going to show you some beautiful GIF animated images. Okay, so these are some of the beautiful images you're going to come across. Now if you want, you guys can make use of this one also, right? This is also looking pretty nice. Okay, then there is this image which is again very good, fine, and you can make use of this also for designing this screen 2, right? Okay, let's come on this Applab now and define the required code for these components we have got on this beautiful GIF animated image. So I'm going to have this uneven block. I'm placing it over here. So the first thing that I'm going to define is the code for this admin button. Now how you can get this kind of image on Google Images? So for that you just have to type admin clip art, something like this. If you'll type over here and hit this enter button, these are a couple of good images you're going to come across. So if you want, you can go with this one. This is also a very good image. Then these are a couple of images you guys can make use of for making it look more appealing. Okay, now the ID of this image button is admin. So we need to first write down admin over here. Let me increase the size of this window so that the code can be more visible to you guys, right? Okay, I'm writing admin over here. What should happen when the user will hit this image button? So I would like him to get redirected on this beautiful admin panel. Where is that? Yeah, this is screen 4 where I would like the user to get redirected on. Fine. So let's make use of this set screen block, which you can easily find in the UI control tabs of the toolbox, and get the user redirected on this screen 4. Okay, let's make it interactive by adding a play sound block to this on event block we have defined in this workspace. Not play sound, I don't want this play sound, I want this play speech. Okay, let's convert it into block based coding, and let's replace this text over here with hi admin, you can upload the word and a relevant pic over here. So this is what the user, the admin is going to hear when he will come on this admin console. Okay, let's come back on this screen 2. Now there are two label boxes which I have placed on this beautiful animated image. One is this with ID student and one is this with ID teacher. Okay, so let's define the required code for this label box which we have placed on this student over here. So let's choose student from this first drop down. This is the required ID. Now what should happen when the user will hit this student named label box? So I would like to redirect the user on this screen 3. So let's replace this with screen 3, and here once the user is there on this screen 3, he will hear something like this from the background. Hi student, welcome to the students panel. Or let's make it hi user. Yeah, this sounds better. Hi user. Okay, fine. Now let's come back on the screen 2 and define the required code for this label box we have on this teacher over here. So the ID of this label box is teacher. Let's replace this student with teacher first. So when the user will hit this teacher named label box, I would like him to get redirected on this beautiful screen 1. Okay, let's do that quickly, and I would like this thing to the user, the teacher to hear. Hi user, welcome to the teachers panel. So this is what the teacher is going to hear once he is there on this beautiful screen 1. Okay, now so we are done with defining the required code in this workspace for all the components we have on this beautiful screen 2. Let's come on this admin panel first now. Okay, so how I have designed this admin panel, that's what I would like to tell you first. So as you can see, it's a GIF animated screen which I have imported in this Applab, and I have made use of an image button for getting it reflected on this mobile simulators screen, right? So how can you get this kind of image on this Google Images? That's what I would like to help you first with. So you guys can type something like person working on laptop GIF animated clip art with a clock. So whenever you are making an app, whenever you're designing your app, you need to make sure that the design is clear in your brain. You need to make a Just a second, I think I have lost those keywords. What was that? Person working on laptop GIF animated clip art. Okay, if we'll type something like this in the search bar, so these are a couple of beautiful images you're going to come across. So if you want, you guys can go for this one. Fine, and this is also a GIF animated image. You will get to see the animation very soon. The image is getting uploaded right now. Okay, so this is what the kind of animation you're going to see. Fine, then there is this is also a quite beautiful GIF animated screen image which you can make use of for making this admin console look more appealing, right? Okay, we have some more beautiful images. This is also a very good image that you guys can make use of for giving your admin console a very appealing look. Okay, so these are some words, you can say some keywords which you have to keep in mind for finding these kind of beautiful images on Google Images. Let's come on this Applab, and now I'm going to tell you the various components which I've defined over this beautiful animated screen that is visible to you guys on this screen 4. So there is one photo select button which is present right on the top of this laptop's head. Then there is one input box which I've placed over here, and the theme that I've used for this screen 4 is playtime theme. Okay, uh, then there is one button with ID add that is placed right in the bottom of this screen 4 by me. Okay, so these are some components which I have defined for this admin console. Let's come on this coding panel and start defining the required code for these components. So I'm going to have this on event block first over here in this workspace of this Applab. Now when the user will hit this add word button, I would like something to happen. So whatever word the user would like to send, whatever word the admin would like to send to this teachers panel. Where is that teachers panel? Yeah, whatever word the teacher would like to send over here in this drop down which is there on this teachers panel, I would like him to write down that word over here in this input box. Okay, and a pic related to that input, that word or sentence he need to upload using this photo select button. And once he is done with that, he can hit this add word button. Automatically a table is going to get created on the data browser in which these two informations are going to get saved. That's how I'm going to define the code for this add word button. Let's first find out the relevant pics on Google Images. So here what you have to do, you can type something like, because we want to find out some images related to sign language. So you guys can write down sign language and then GIF animated. So when you'll type something like this, these are a couple of beautiful images you are going to come across. Fine, so this is one image that you can make use of. So what is this teacher trying to tell us? Nice to meet you. So she's using a sign language for this sentence, nice to meet you. Then there are some more images that you guys can make use of for making your app look more interactive and more appealing. Fine. Okay, now let's save this image with a unique name on the desktop first. So I'm going to make use of this copy image option, and let's save it with why is it not happening? Hope you guys are enjoying this lecture. Do like and share this video in your group so that more and more students can come and join in, and do motivate your colleagues also to learn coding, because it is going to benefit you a lot. Fine, once you'll become confident in this coding which we are learning on this code.org, you can start understanding the high level coding concepts. Fine. So you guys, if you want, you guys can go for Python course, or if you want, you guys can go for this website development course. Fine. Okay. So I'm saving it with this name. Nice to meet you. But make sure that your goals are clear to you in your mind. Fine. If your goals are not clear to you, you'll not be able to achieve anything out of whatever you're doing over here. Okay, so you need to have your goal. You have to have a clear understanding of your goals. So I'm saving it with this name. Nice to meet you. Okay, fine. Let's now come back on this platform and define the required code for this image, for this button over here. Now when the admin will hit this add button after uploading the pic, and the relevant sentence, or you can say word over here, so I would like a table to get created automatically on the data browser where both these things, the pic as well as the word or sentence, should get saved. And let's make use of this create record block. And here I'm going to replace the name of the table with some other name. Let's replace it with word or words. Fine. And we are going to have two different columns in this table named words. One is with name sentence, and the second one is with name photo. Okay. Now from where can we get the value of this sentence named label box? We can get it very easily with the help of this get text block. Now the ID of this component is word, right? So we need to write down word over here. From where can you get the URL of this photograph? So we can get it from this photo select button. So for getting the URL of the pic, we need to make use of this get image URL code, right? And the ID of this photo select button is photo. So let's define photo over here. Okay, once the user is done with hitting this add word button, so this is the thing which is going to happen. A table named words is going to get created on the data browser. What else I would like should happen is, so besides that, I would like everything, whatever the user or the admin has written over here, should go disappear. So let's make use of this SetTextBlock, and let's set the text of this word named component to you enter the word or sentence here. So now the user will be able to see this text getting reflected over here once he is done with hitting this button, right? Besides that, let's make it more interactive by adding a sound to this uneven block. So this time I'm going to make use of this play sound block. Let's drop it over here, converting it into block based coding, and coming down, let's select a relevant sound from the sounds library of this Applab. So I'm going to make use of this third sound. I like it very much, it's amazing. Okay, let's reduce the size of this window a little bit so that I can see that choose button. Okay, fine. So I'm done with defining the required code for this button. Let's come on this screen 1 now. So this is the teachers panel. Now I would like to fix the design first of this screen. Okay, and now I think it is looking good. So there is a drop down which we are able to see over here, and there is a button also which is visible to us over here. There is an image button which is visible to us over here right on the top of this screen, right? So the first thing that I would like to do is, let's define the required code for this option or this drop down 3 which we have on this screen 1. But before that, once the admin is done with uploading a word and a relevant pic through his panel on this platform, I would like this teacher to receive a notification of the same. How can we do that? So for doing that, we can make use of this on record event block, because we want the teacher to get a notification on her panel in real time. So this is what is going to help us in doing the same. Let's convert it into text-based coding. So again, it is a multi-device real-time application that we are coding. So in this table named words, which type of event is taking place? Create type of event is taking place. So you need not to make any kind of changes over here. This event type should be create only. Now you need to replace this ID with the name of the table, okay, in which this create type of event is taking place. I'm done with that. Let's eliminate everything, whatever we have inside this if block. Now once the whenever this create type of event will take place in this words named table, then I would like this teacher to hear a sound from the background. I would like everyone to hear a sound from the background, or shall I make it like I would like only the teacher to hear a sound from the background? How shall I code it? How should I code it? Let me just think about it. Okay, let's do one thing. Let's make use of a counter variable. So I'm defining a counter variable right on the top. So what is going to happen now, if the user is an admin, so nothing is going to happen to this value of x. If the user is a teacher, then I would like the value of x to become equal to 1. Okay, now here I am defining a condition that if x is equal to 1, then of course it is a teacher, it is going to be the teacher's panel. Fine, so the teacher should be able to hear this thing in the background. Let's make use of this Playspeech block. I'm putting it over here, and the teacher will be able to hear something like this in the background. Admin has recently uploaded a word, or or you can say sentence. Fine, so this is what the teacher is going to hear in the background. Fine, and the admin will not be able to hear this, and the other users who are using this app will not be able to hear this thing. Why? Because we have placed it inside this if loop. If the value of x is equal to 1, then only this will be heard by the person who is using this app. Otherwise he will not be able to hear this thing. Okay, so now the teacher will get a notification in the form of speech on her panel. Let's now define the required code for this drop down. So once the teacher receives this notification, I would like her to hit this drop down so as to get the word or the words which the admin has uploaded. So what she can do, we can make use of this on event block. And what is the ID of this drop down? It is drop down 3. So let's write down drop down 3 over here. When the teacher will hit this drop down 3, what should happen? So I would like to first fetch the records from this words named table, because the word or the sentence, you can say, are going to get saved in this words named table, right? So let's fetch the required information from this words named table. Now there can be more than 1 or 2 or 3 words which the admin has uploaded. So how can we fetch? What are the things that we have to keep in mind when we have to fetch more than 1 records in one go from a particular table present on the data browser? Absolutely correct. We guys can make use of a list type of variable. So here I'm going to define a variable with name, let's say D. Okay, and it is a list kind of variable that I would like to have over here. Now let's append all the words to this list item variable using this append item property, and with the help of this code records I. What is the name of the column in which all the words are getting saved? So it is sentence, okay, which in which all the words are getting saved. We need to write down sentence over here. So this is going to help us in appending all the sentence or words to this list type of variable. And finally, in order to get all the words reflected in the options section of this drop down, we guys can make use of where is that set property block. Okay, I can find it in the UI controls tab of the toolbox. Sorry, I went. Where is that options part? Yeah, this is the one. And let's replace this with the name of the variable in which all the options are going to get appended. Okay, so in this way you will be able to, the teacher will be able to see all the options getting reflected over here, right? Okay, once she is done with selecting the required option from this drop down, I would like the teacher to hit this label box, which I have placed next to this image button. It is not visible to us because I haven't placed anything in the text field of this label box. So the ID of this label box is CLE. Okay, this is the label box. So I have placed it over here like this. Fine, and let's now change the properties of this label box, or shall we just define the code? Okay, let's not change anything of this label box. I'm going to define the required code for this label box over here. So the ID of this label box is CLI. When the teacher, after selecting the required option from this drop down, will hit this CLI named label box, I would like to pull the records from this words named table, okay, based on the selection which the teacher has made over here. So for doing that, we can put a check on this option part. So this is one way we guys can put a check on a particular component. And from where can we get the value of this sentence? We can get it from this drop down 3. So let's put this drop down 3 over here, and between these two double inverted commas I'm eliminating this list type of variable because I don't require this. I'm eliminating this also, and I am eliminating this thing also. Now what should we define inside this for loop in order to get the relevant pick reflected over here? Because I would like that whatever the option the teacher will select from here, the relevant pick, whatever the admin has uploaded for that word through his panel, should be visible to the teacher over here on this image 1 button. For doing that, we can make use of this set image URL, right? Okay, now the ID of this component is image1, and let's make use of this code, and I'm replacing this whole link with this code. Now what is the name of the column in which the photos are getting saved? So the photos are getting saved in this column named photo. Let's replace this sentence with photo. Okay, fine, so everything is perfectly fine. The teacher will be able to see the image getting reflected on her panel over here on this image 1 button now. Fine, and let's make it more interactive by adding a sound to this uneven block. Let's add it just after the point where this read records is ending. I need to select a sound from the sounds library of this Applab. So that's how you can visit the Applab. This time I am going to choose This time I'm choosing this one, this third sound of bell group. Okay, so I'm done with defining the code, required code for these two components over here. Now let's talk about these input boxes. Okay, so the image that we just saved on the desktop is for nice to meet you sentence, right? Let's come on Google and check out that what what this nice to meet you translates to into Hindi. So I'm going to make use of Google Translate from English to Hindi. Okay, and here I am going to type nice to meet you. So this is the translated version in Hindi of this sentence. Let's make use of this notepad file. So once we are done with coding this whole app, I'm going to show you how you can access it on different devices and work on it. So this is what the admin is going to enter, right? Nice to meet you. Besides that, he will be uploading a pic also, and this is the translated version in Hindi of this sentence. Let's now find out the translated version of this Dutch, DUTCH. So nice to meet you, and here you have to write down nice to meet you. This is what we can write down in Dutch, and here I am going to write down Dutch. So this is for the second input box. Then it is Italiano. Again, I need to type nice to meet you over here. So this is in Italiano. So these are the inputs which we are going to define over here in these input boxes when we will run this app. Suomi. I'm going to write down Suomi over here. And nice to meet you is the sentence for which we need to find out the required translation. Then for Frankes, nice to meet you is the sentence, or this is the French version of this sentence, right? And then Frankes I should write down over here. Okay, then there is Magyar. Nice to meet you. I'm going to write down over here. Don't forget to like and share this video so that it can reach to maximum number of students, and they can also come and learn coding free of cost on this channel of mine. And do share it in all the groups you're a part of. Thank you very much for all your support, all your love you're showing to me. It is Romana, right? So we need to write down Romana over here. Fine. Then the last one is Polski. And this time we need to write down, okay, so nice to meet you, and this is a translation in Polski of this sentence. Okay, so I'm done with finding out all the required input for which we need to make when we will run this app through this teachers panel for this nice to medium sentence. Okay, so once the teacher is done with inputting the required translations over here, she need to hit this submit button, which is present right in the bottom of this teachers panel. So what should happen when she will hit this submit button? For that, I would like to define the code now. So first of all, let's have an uneven block, converting it into text-based coding. And as soon as the teacher will hit this submit button, the ID of which is button 1. So I would like a table with name converted to get created on the data browser. Okay, and in this table, what all things we need to have? So the first thing that I need to have is a sentence for which the translation is being done. Then Hindi translation, then Dutch translation, then Italiano. Okay, then there is Suomi, then there is Frankese, then there is Magyar, then there is Romana, and last but not the least is Polski. Okay, so from where can we get the input for this column named sentence? So we can get it easily from this drop down, get text, drop down 3, and let's make use of this code for getting the input for these fields also. So this one is for the Hindi field, Hindi named field, so I can get it easily from this input box named Hindi. Fine, and let's do the same thing for this Dutch. So it is Dutch, from where I can get the input for this Dutch named field. Then there is Italiano. Italian is the name of the component from where we can get the input for this field. Then for Suomi, the ID of this component, this input component is Suomi. S is in capital. Let me just save my project. Okay, so it is Suomi. Then for this Frankese, we can get the output from this French named component. Then for this Magyar, we can get the input from this Magyar named component. For this Romana, we can get the input from this Romania named component. And last one is this Polski, for which we can get the input from this Polski named input box. Okay, once the teacher is done with hitting this button 1, I would like everything whatever she has written over here should go disappear. How can we do that? So we guys can make use of this setText property, and let's first select this Hindi. I would like everything to go disappear. So that's how we can do it, right? Simply we can copy this and create some duplicates of this whole code. Let's replace it with the ID of the second component, this one with the ID of this Italian named component, and likewise we can do it for all the input boxes we have got on this screen 1. So there are 8 input boxes, 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8. Okay, one is still remaining. Which one have I left? Okay, Magyar, it's not there. Fine. Besides, let's make it more interactive by adding a Playspeech block to this uneven block. this is the Playspeech block. I'm going to put it over here, and this is what the user is going to hear. This is what the teacher is going to hear once she's done with hitting this button 1. You successfully uploaded the required information. Fine. Okay. Now let's come on this students panel, which is screen 3. So we have 13 components on this screen 3. This is the image 6 button, okay, where I would like the user to see the image which the admin is going to upload for a particular, what we call that word or sentence. Fine. And here I would like the student to see the sentence uploaded by the admin. And what else? Okay, so there is an image button which you are seeing in the background, on which I have imported this image. Now how can you get this kind of image on Google Images? Let me just help you with that. So what you can do, you can type world map with children, okay, children clip art. So if you type something like this, you're going to get some beautiful images. Okay, so this is one of the beautiful images you guys can make use of. Yeah, it is actually very good. I haven't made use of that, but definitely in future I would like to make use of such kind of images for making for giving an appealing look to my applications. So these are a couple of beautiful images that you guys can make use of. Yes, this one is also very nice, right? Okay, then on this image button I have defined some components. Let's now define the code with which we can get the image reflected over here in this image named component, in this image 6 named component, and the word over here in this word named component. Okay, so for doing that, see, we would like everything to happen in real time. As soon as the admin is done with uploading the pic and the word or sentence through his panel on this app, I would like that image and the sentence to be visible to this student over here on this panel. So for doing that, we can come up, okay, and over here, where is that on record event block that we defined for that admins panel? Okay, this is the one. So when the admin will hit, let me just come on this admins panel again. Okay, when this admin will hit this word name add named button, so this is a code which is going to get executed. Now this create named event is going to take place in this table named words, and when any such event will take place in this words named table, this is what is going to happen. So if x is equal to 1, then this is what the user is going to hear in the background. Okay, and besides, I would like to read the records. Besides, I would like to read the records from the words name table and get the same reflected over here in these two components. So for doing that, we can make use of this read records block. We can place it over here, right? So we need to place it just out of the point where the second if loop is ending. Okay, please don't place it inside this second if loop, otherwise you will not be able to see the changes. Fine, and let's replace this table with the name words. So what all things I would like to see? The first thing that I would like to see is, okay, let's set the text of this component named word with with the text or the sentence which the admin is going to upload. So for fetching that sentence or word, we guys can make use of this code, right? And besides that, I would like to get the relevant pic also reflected over here. So for doing that, we can make use of set image URL thing. And what is the ID of this component? It is image6, right? From where can we get the image of for this component? So we can get it very easily from this photo named column which we have inside this words named table. Okay, now because we want to see the recently uploaded information to get reflected over here, so that's the reason I am cutting these two lines of code and pasting it after this point where this for loop is ending, and we then can replace this I with I minus 1. Okay, and then the user is going to here. Besides that, I would like this user, or you can say this student, to hear something from the background, but for that we need to put a condition. So let's do one thing, let's copy this whole thing and put it over here, and let's replace it with 2, and inside this I am going to place this read records block. So that's how we can do it. And if the user is a student, then the value of x should become equal to 2 as soon as he comes on this screen 3, right? Okay, so I think everything is perfectly fine till now. We need to replace this sentence with some other thing. Admin has recently uploaded a word or sentence. So this is what the user is going to hear, fine, in real time. Okay, now what else do we need to do? Okay, so we have some label boxes that I've defined on these boxes, rectangular boxes, in which you're able to see the names of various languages getting reflected. Okay, so we need to define the required code for these label boxes now. So the first thing that I'm going to define is the code for this Hindi 1 named label box. Let's come over here on this coding panel. Now as you already know that the translated version of this word or sentence which the student will see over here in this component is already saved in this table named, where is the table? Okay, so it is saved in this converted name table. We need to fetch that particular translation, then we need to convert it into the form of speech, and so that the user can hear that translated version in the speech form, as well as he can see that translated version getting reflected in this converted named component. So for doing that, let's make use of this uneven block. I'm going to place it over here. Now the ID of this component is Hindi 1. So as soon as just a second, what is happening to my mouse? Yeah, I think now it is fine. So the ID of this component is Hindi 1. Let's replace it with Hindi 1. When the user will hit this Hindi 1 named component, so I would like to first fetch the relevant information from this table named converted. So for that we can make use of this read records block, right? Okay, now need to put a check on this word, for which I would like to fetch the relevant information. Where is the words getting saved or sentence getting saved in this converted name table? So they are getting saved in this sentence named column. We need to write down sentence over here, and from where can we get the value of this sentence named column? We can match it from whatever the data is going to get reflected in this word named component. Okay, now this get text is going to match this word which will get reflected over here with the sentences which are there in this converted named table. Okay, and then I would like it to fetch the translated version and get the same reflected over here in this converted part. So because the student has tapped on this Hindi 1 named label box, so I would like to fetch only the Hindi translated form. Find the Hindi version of the sentence which is going to get reflected over here. How can we fetch that? So we need to put a check on this, on that Hindi part also. Let's so it is Hindi which is going to get pulled up, right? Let's make use of SetTextBlock, and I'm going to write down the ID of this component which is converted over here, and here we will, what else we need to do? We can get the required data from this code. So where is the Hindi version getting saved? It is going to get saved in this Hindi named column. So we need to write down Hindi over here. Fine, this way we'll be able to fetch the required information. Now how can we get the translation done? Or how can we hear the Hindi speech in the background? So for doing that, we can make use of this Playspeech block. Let's place it over here. And I'm going to replace this whole thing with this code. Okay, so this is going to help the student in hearing the Hindi version of this sentence which the admin has uploaded recently. Fine. Now let's copy the same code and copy this code and use it for defining the required code for these label boxes which we have on this image button. So in this is going to, if the user will hit this Italian 1 named label box, I would like to fetch the Italian version of this label box, of this word or sentence which the user is going to upload. So Italiano is the name of the column in which the required information is going to get saved. We need to replace this with Italiano, and here also we need to write Italiano. Fine. So this way you are going to get the required output. Let's do the same thing quickly for the remaining label boxes also. Now comes the turn of Dutch 1. Where is the Dutch translation getting saved? That's what we need to find out. So it is getting saved in this Dutch named label box. Sorry, Dutch named column. Replacing this with Dutch and this one also with Dutch. Let's copy this whole thing and paste it over here. Then it is Magyar 1. Where is that Magyar getting saved? So it is getting saved in this Magyar named column. Magyar. That's great. Let's now come on this Polski 1. So it is Polski, I think, where the required data is going to get saved. Copying this whole thing and putting it over here. Now it is the turn of Suomi. So the ID of this component over here is Suomi 1. Suomi 1. Do like and share this video in your group so that more and more students can come and join this channel and enjoy these coding classes which I am giving on my channel free of cost. And thank you very much in advance for your efforts that you are making in understanding these codes over here, and also in liking and sharing the videos in your groups. Thank you so very much. Then it is Roman 1. Okay, and where is the required information getting saved? In which column? So it is getting saved in Romana. Romana is the name of the column. Okay, now we are left with only one thing, I think, which is French, right? French 1, when the user will hit this French 1, I would like to fetch the information from this Francaise named column. Francaise. I think I'm done with covering all the 8 translated forms. Okay, let's now run this app and check out whether it is going to give us the correct output or not. So I'm going to run it on 3 different browsers, of course. So it's a real-time application, as you guys very well know about, that I am going to run on 3 different devices. It's a multi-device real-time application, right? You can say it like that. It's taking a bit of time for me to access this app on 3 different browsers, but no problem. Now I would like to use my earphones so that I can also hear the background speeches which we have added in the code. And let me just check one thing more, whether there is any table present on the data browser connected to this app. Okay, so there is no table at present on this data browser connected to this app. Let's go back on those 3 browsers. So you have to assume as if this is the first device, this is the second device, and this is the third device. It's a multi-device real-time application which we are going to run now, which we are going to test now. So in order to access the admins panel, we just have to hit this image button over here automatically.
Hi admin. You can upload the word and a relevant pic over here.
Okay, so we are able to see the admin's console over here on this first device. Let's now hit this teacher's image and see what's gonna happen.
Hi user. Welcome to the teachers panel.
So this is the teacher's panel which you're seeing on the second device. Let's now hit this student's image and see what's gonna happen. So it is going to redirect us on this student's panel, right? Why we are not able to hear anything from the background? I think this browser is not working fine. Let me just close this and create a new instance of this browser. I'm pasting this link again. It happens, most of the times that if you're running your app on 2 or 3 different browsers, you may not be able to hear some the relevant sound from the background on some browser. Maybe because of some compatibility issue it happens. So I'm waiting for this screen to come. Okay, now let's hit this image button over here.
Hi user. Welcome to the students panel.
So this is a students panel, and we were able to hear the speech also that we added in the coding section. Let's now upload a pic quickly and a relevant sentence over here. So I'm going to upload the same pic that we downloaded some while back from Google Images, in which a teacher was showing how can you make use of sign language for that nice to meet you sentence, right? Where is that image? Okay, I had saved it with this nice to meet you name, right? Let's hit this open button. Done with uploading the pic. Now here I'm going to write down nice to meet you. Okay, Let's see what is going to happen when we will hit this add word button, whether we will be able to receive a real-time notification on this teachers panel as well as on this users panel or not. That's what we have to check. Let's do that quickly.
Admin has recently uploaded a word slash sentence.
Okay, so as you can see, this on this users panel, on the students panel, the pic is visible to us, and this nice to meet you is also getting reflected over here. Fine. Now let's come on this teachers panel and check out whether we'll be able to fetch that sentence uploaded by this admin or not. Why we are not able to see that sentence over here? I think we have missed something in the coding section. Let's come back on this Codeorg platform and check out what have we missed. So it is the code that we defined for this drop down over here, in which there is some mistake, I think, because of which we are not able to see the required output. So drop down 3D, that is correct. Sentence, what are we missing over here? Drop down 3, it is drop down 3. Okay, this is perfectly fine. Then we are okay, so the name of the table that we have defined over here is words, right? But the correct name is, yes, it is words only. Yeah, that is perfectly fine. Sentence is the name of the column from which I would like to fetch the required information. This is perfectly fine. Append item, this is going to append for us all the items. Okay, so there was a spelling mistake over here. Fine, let's run this code one more time, but before that I would like to delete this table. And once the teacher is done with uploading the required translated forms, I would like the user to get a notification of the same on his respective panel. So for doing that, what we can do, where is that code that we've defined for this button 1? I am trying to find out that code. Okay, this is the one, okay, that we have defined for this button 1 over here. So table with name converted is going to get created. Now just after this, I would like to define a code with which we can send a real time, with which we can send a notification on that students panel in real time. So converted, fine, and let's eliminate everything, whatever we have inside this if loop. Let's define a condition over here, if x is equal to 2, right? Because if x is equal to 2, so it means that the user is accessing the students panel. So I would like the user to hear something like this in the background. You can check out the translated forms of the uploaded sentence. So this is what the user is going to hear now. Okay, now I think everything is perfectly fine. Let's now run this code and see whether it is going to give us the desired output or not. Hope you guys are enjoying this lecture. Do like and share this video in your groups. Again, I'm telling you that, sorry for that, but I have to keep on repeating everything so that you don't forget to do that thing. So on this first device, I'm going to access the admin's panel just by hitting that image button. We can
Hi
do that.
admin. You can upload the word and a relevant pic over here.
Okay, so we were able to hear the speech from the background. Let's hit this student's image over here, because it is a GIF animated screen, so that is
Hi
the reason.
user. Welcome to the students panel.
Okay, so it's a user's students panel which I have accessed over here. Let's access the teachers panel on this
Hi user.
third device.
Welcome to the teachers panel.
Fine. Let's now quickly upload a photograph and the relevant sentence through this admin's panel. So I'm going to select the pic from that desktop of mine. So this is the one. Okay, here I am going to write down nice to meet you. Fine. Let's hit this add word button and see what's going to happen.
Admin has recently uploaded a word/sentence.
So they both received a notification in real time on their respective panels. Let's hit this drop down over here and see whether we'll be able to get the required output or not. Again, we are not able to get this sentence over here in this options section of this drop down. Why it is happening? Let's check it out. Why is it happening? What are we missing anything? It is drop down 3 only. Drop down 3. Let's come on this coding panel and check out the code that we have defined for this drop down 3 over here in this. Okay, so this is the error. There is a spelling mistake over here. Here also it should be drop down 3. Now I think I will be able to get the required output. Let's delete this table from this data browser. Okay, I'm going to refresh this screen on all these 3 devices. Running this app again. On this first one, I'm going to access the admin's panel.
Hi admin. You can upload the word and a relevant pic over here.
Teachers panel.
Hi user. Welcome to the teachers panel.
Great. And students panel.
Hi user. Welcome to the students panel.
Let's upload a pic and the relevant word quickly through this admin's panel. So I'm done with hitting this photo select button, waiting for it to redirect me on the desktop of my device. It's taking some time just because we have defined GIF animated images on the screens. Nice.
Admin has recently uploaded a word/sentence.
Let me upload this one more time because the sentence I haven't uploaded correctly. Nice to meet you. Fine, so hitting this add word button.
Admin has recently uploaded a word/sentence.
Fine, let's now hit this drop down over here. Okay, we are able to see both the sentences getting reflected over here. Let's select this nice to meet you and hit this label box. So the image is visible to us over here. Fine, now I'm going to quickly upload all the translated forms. So this is the Hindi version of this nice to meet you thing, which we got from that Google Translator. This is the Dutch form. This is the Italiano form. This is the Swami form. Okay, and this one is the Francaise. This is for French, right? And this one is for Magyar. This one is for Magyar. Then for Romania, for Roman it is this one. Then for Polski, this is the one, right? Let's now hit this submit button and see what's gonna happen.
You successfully uploaded the required information. You can check out the translated forms of the uploaded sentence now.
So the student in real time, received a notification in the form of speech on his panel that he can now check the translated version of this sentence. Let's hit this Hindi named label box over here and see what's gonna happen. I'm able to see the Hindi version over here, but the speech is not audible to me. Let's hit this Dutch named label box.
Luke Jete Ontmoden.
Okay.
Milo Cie Poznak.
But this is not the Polski version that we are able to hear, that we just heard. What about Italiano?
Piacere di conoscerti.
It is simple English, right? Now, why is it happening? Why we are not able to hear this in Italian? That's what we have to check. Let's come back on this coding panel and check out if we have missed anything over here in this coding section. Okay, so this is what we have missed. Let me tell you that thing. So if you will come over here on this first label box, which is Hindi one, so we need to change this drop down. We need to select Hindi in this third drop down so as to hear this speech in Hindi form. If you want to hear this in Italian, you need to choose Italian in this third drop down. Where is that Italian? So we need to change this one to Hindi. I'm done with that. We need to change this one to Italiano. Let's do it quickly. Where is that Italian? This is the one. Here we need to select Dutch. Done with this. Then here we need to select Magyar. Done with this. Here we need to select Polski. Where is that Polski form? Done with this. Here we need to select Suomi. Where is that Suomi? This is the one. Then here we need to select Romania. Where is that Romania? This is the one. Then here we need to select French. So Francaise, I'm going to select. Okay, I'm done with that. Let's hit the share button and I'm going to upload that nice to meet you again. First of all, I'm deleting this words table which is already there on this data browser connected to this app. And let's run this app again on these 3 different browsers. So here I'm going to access the admins panel, teachers panel I'm accessing over here, students panel
Hi
I'm accessing over
admin.
here.
Hi user. You can upload the word and a relevant pic over here. Welcome to the students panel.
Let's quickly upload a pic and the relevant sentence through this admins panel on this beautiful app. So nice to meet you is the sentence I need to enter over here. Nice to meet you. Let's see this time whether we'll be able to get the required output or not. Adding the word. Okay,
Admin
so
has recently uploaded a word/sentence.
both this teacher and the student has received a notification in real time in the form of speech on their respective panels, and we are able to see this sentence added by this admin in real time in this drop down in this option section. Okay, so this teacher's image is visible to us with the help of this sign language is translating this nice to meet you for us. So this is a Dutch form, then this is the Italian form. I'm going to write down over here. Then Suomi, I'm going to write down over here. Then Francaise, I'm going to write down over here. Left with only 3 things. Magyar, I need to hurry up because I'm low on my laptop's battery. This is Romana and this one is Polski. Fine, let's hit the submit button.
You successfully uploaded the required information. You can check out the translated forms of the uploaded sentence now.
Let's see whether the student will be able to hear this nice to meet you thing in Hindi or not.
आपसे मिलकर अच्छा लगा.
Excellent. So the app is working perfectly fine now.
Leukjéte ontmoeten.
It is in Dutch.
Örvendek.
Excellent.
Miło cię poznać.
Hauska tavata.
Ravi de vous rencontrer.
So the app is working perfectly
Încântat de
fine.
cunoștință.
Okay. Let me now just show you the whole code which I have made use of for developing this beautiful sign language app. Hope you guys enjoyed this lecture a lot. Do like and share this video in your groups. And if you really want to learn high level language coding, then you guys are most welcome to join me in the coding classes which I am providing to my students, and currently Python is going on in the coding classes. If you want to learn that, you are most welcome to join that. You just have to ask your parents to contact me on my respective phone number for getting the facility of those coding classes. And if you have any kind of doubt related to anything that we learned today, that we discussed today in this online coding class, you're most welcome to make use of the comment section. You can reach me through the comment section. Just put your queries over there and let me know about your issues. And I will try to sort them out as soon as possible. Let's close this browser and let me now end this meeting. Thank you very much for joining me in this meeting. Have a great day. Bye bye.